Hello again, everyone. I am here with a new pen from BENU, at least new to me. And this is my first experience with a BENU pen, and I wanted to share it with you all. So I purchased this off of Van Ness Pens, and this is the Briolette, I believe is what it's called. Let me look real quick. Yes, the Briolette model. And several of these are glow in the dark, but I don't believe that this one is. But it is the cobalt blue version. It was on sale at Van Ness Pens for quite a bit less than the normal price. So I went ahead and tried it. I assumed that it is probably less popular because of its color and that it, not necessarily that the color isn't nice, but that it doesn't glow in the dark, which seemed to be sort of a feature that people liked about this pen. So it came in this little box, which is very nice. And then within the box, it had this little slipcase that the pen was in. It comes with this information about BENU. I'd heard about this pen a lot, but I had just never thought of it seriously as something I wanted to get. And then when I saw it on sale, I went ahead and got it. It does come with one cartridge and no converter, but I did put a converter of my own in there, and I've already loaded this up with some ink, which you will see here in a minute. So I'm going to put this box aside, and I'm going to go ahead and test this pen for you. I have my A5 Tomoe River notebook here off to the side, and let's go ahead and find a blank page here. I probably should have found that ahead of time, but that's okay. So there we go. And I am going to zoom in a bit. All right, so I'm going to show you the nib and some of the insides of this pen before I do that. So one thing to note about this pen, which kind of put me on the fence a little bit, is that you cannot post it. It is impossible to post. You know, you could try and set it on there, but it's never going to stay. So this is an unpostable pen. And generally, I do like posting my pens. So that was something that I had to think about, you know, would I be willing to put up with the fact that it does not post? And ultimately, for the price, I decided to go ahead and try it out. And now that I've written with it for a little bit, I realized that actually it's quite nice without posting. So I feel like the weight is very well balanced. One of my problems with pens that don't post, not this one, but some other pens that I cannot post, is that the front of the pen feels so heavy that it's sort of tilting me this way. But here the balance, at least for my smaller hand, is quite nice. I feel like it's very well balanced front and back, and I don't feel like it's going to flip over, or, you know, it's a very nice size and weight in my hand. Now, if you had larger hands, you may have some issues because it's not incredibly long at the end. So, you know, if you had super large hands, it might be an issue. And it can teach me how to set my cap aside and keep track of it. For now, I'm just putting it up there. All right, so what the ink that I have in here, what ink do I have in here? I have Skull and Roses by Diamine. So this is the BENU, and it writes lovely. I was actually very surprised by the writing. This is a medium nib, and I'm going to go ahead and show that to you. So it has this plain, it's a stainless steel nib, and you can see it has quite a bit of tipping material, and you can see some of the sheen on that feed there. So this is the BENU Briolette? I don't know how you say that. Let me make sure that's correct. Briolette. Okay, so that's actually wrong. That is an E instead of an O. And, okay. And this is then the cobalt color, which I thought was very nice. I'm not going to go into the reasons why I bought this pen in this color, because I don't want to go into that on this channel, but it was purchased for a particular reason. Okay, BENU Briolette Cobalt with a medium nib, and then this ink is Diamine. Skull and Roses. which is, I believe it is a specific release to either Germany or England. I cannot remember, but I found mine on Amazon and it was the same price as the other bottles of ink. Here it is. Let me grab it real quick. Should have had that bottle available for you to see. So here it is. I got just the smaller bottle. I don't know if I could find the larger bottle, but either way, I generally, with the diamine inks, I start first with the smaller bottle, and then if it seems like I'm going to go through it really fast, maybe I'll get a bigger bottle. But that hasn't happened yet, quite frankly, because I have so many different pens and so many different inks. It takes me a while to go through it all. So this is the Skull and Roses, and it is really beautiful blue with a reddish sheen, which I will show you here. It's almost like a purplish sheen, perhaps. But this nib is lovely. It's very smooth and nice to write with. Let's go ahead and do the Quick Brown Fox. I'm going to do that in regular block lettering too. And this pen definitely keeps up with fast writing. It's really quite lovely. I am really happy with it. Although I have kind of tried to focus on a lot of gold nibbed fountain pens in my collection as of late, I'm actually discovering some really beautiful steel nibs as well. And this is definitely one of those steel nibs. It's just really pretty. Like I said, this is the medium size. I didn't see a broad. It may have come in broad at some point, but medium and fine and extra fine were the ones that I saw. And this could be also because this particular pen was on sale. So it may just have had some sizes that were not available. But the medium is just about perfect for me. I really like the line width. It's not super broad for a medium and it's not super thin. I'd say it's a true medium, sort of right in the middle. And I really like it. And I was super surprised because BENU seems to be sort of, I feel like a lot of their pens are sort of a gimmick, given the glow in the dark thing. And they also have a little stand that is made to look like little crystals, and that also glows in the dark. I wasn't really big on that. I kind of wanted a really pretty, nice pen. And if you can see, it has some little sparkles in the color here. They're easier to see in some lights rather than others. But I didn't feel like I necessarily needed a glow-in-the-dark pen because what was I going to be doing with that? I'm not writing in the dark. Yeah, it might look cool on my desk, but I'm not usually in this room where it would be during the nighttime when it's dark. So it just seemed more of a gimmick than anything else to me. And I was hoping that they weren't just all gimmick and not quality, but they have quality as well, if this is any indication. So based on that, I would definitely recommend the BENU Briolette. But it comes in a variety of colors, and I think it generally is between like $70 and $80. I got mine for less than $50 because of the sale, and it was certainly worth that. But I think it would even be, just based on the nib alone, it would probably be worth it at a higher price point. Oh, and I didn't show you the inside of this pen. So it does use an international converter. I just used one that I had laying around. You can easily put this in there. It comes with a cartridge, but I like to pick my ink. So I don't know who made this international, oops, looks like I got a little ink on my fingers. It's always happening. And I don't know where that ink is coming from. Where is that ink coming from? It may have just been the tip of the nib. I may have touched it. So, I got my international converter, I think just on Amazon, and it was just, whichever one looked decent quality, because I don't want to get sort of the bottom of the line converter because then it might leak. Recently I had a pen It was actually the Birmingham Pen Company pen, and it was the converter that came with it that was leaking everywhere, and I was really unhappy with that. So I did end up replacing that converter, and clearly the converter was the problem because it hasn't leaked since then. But just something to be aware of. Sometimes the international converters, if they're too cheap, they're too cheap, and they just aren't going to work great. So, don't go for bottom of the line, and try to find something that's a little bit by a company that's known or something like that. I mean, you shouldn't pay more than about $10 for a converter, if that. All right. So that was it for today, I think. So feel free to subscribe to keep track of future videos on my channel. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, and I hope to see you next time. In the meantime, have a great day. Thanks so much. Bye.